Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to pick up right where we left off the other day. We're going to see if we can't get this trunk up to the next level. Welcome to In the Garage. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a line down through here and get prepared for our, cars are rolling, get prepared for our seam sealer. Lay our seam sealer down first, and then we're going to start the process of putting our coating on the floor of the truck. I think really what I want to do, I've decided, is I'm going to roll out that asphalt tar. First, after I lay the seam sealer on. And then I believe I'm going to spray undercoating on the on top of that, and then when it comes time to paint the inside of the trunk, then what we'll do is probably we're going to paint over the top of the undercoating the same color as the rest of the truck, or the rest of the car, and I think I'm gonna like that. But get you over here. We'll get this other side. I think I'll like that. Let me bend these wire holders up out of the way so I can do what I gotta do without being interrupted. If y'all saw on the last video, obviously I can't put a lot of weight in here because the whole freaking car just about fell, because the mounts are all the way up there. So, you know, the back glass back hangs out over the back of the braces. So put too much weight back here and you end up on your ear. That wouldn't be funny. Boy, this is an awkward spot. Should be able to get to the rest of it pretty easy. I don't want to get it too high off the floor because I don't want my seam sealer that high up. Working on the inside of this trunk, I've had to contort myself into all kinds of weird predicaments trying to get to where I need to get. Now, nose itches. Now, this area here, back towards the back of the car, the back bumper, not really gonna mess with that yet because this piece here has to be cut off. So from here, say all the way over to the other side, that all has to be cut off. So I'll mess with that. I'll mess with that when it comes time to cut this section off and do this filler panel in between the bumper and the deck lid. I'm not going to mess with it, but I can do all this and not mess up my next steps. Boy, I just cut the living crap out of my finger. Didn't even know it on this piece of rust right there. That finger is as dead can be. I have no feeling in it from here down, from here towards the fingernail anyway. When I was somewhere around 94, I guess, 95, I was working at a carpet mill called Kintec, and we made finished carpet, and some of the carpet we had to split in half, and instead of being a 12-foot wide rug, it was a 6-foot wide rug, and it was for the automotive industry. Jaguar, I think, is who it was for. And so we had this blade. It looked basically like looked a whole lot like what you would see at Lowe's or Home Depot when they cut your plywood for you. It's like a skill saw on a rack, except instead of a toothed blade, it was like a meat cutter, meat slicer blade. And so we'd get a ticket for the rug, and then when the rug got 3 or 4 rugs away, we would go install the blade on that saw, and that way it would be ready for when the rug came through, we'd go ahead and cut it in half. And so the blade you sort of put on there, and it had a left-handed nut, and you just tighten it hand tight, and the on switch was about 15 feet away or so. And I was putting that blade on, and somebody turned it on while I was putting the blade on, and it sucked that finger down in the guard and just lopped that sucker right off. Didn't really hurt. I don't know how many of you have been a pretty serious injury. A lot of times those injuries don't hurt. They feel, that felt sort of like a bee sting, really is what it felt like. Didn't hurt at all. Now, 2 days later, when the nerves started waking up, that sucker come alive, if you know what I mean. And boy, did it hurt. It hurt for a long time. I'd say it probably hurt for a solid month. It's really, really painful. And I don't have pain in it like a lot of people talk about. They have, after they've had something cut off and it's sewed back on, they have, every once in a while, they have shooting, stabbing nerve pains. I don't have any of that. But it's a little weird, like when I clip my fingernail or something, because I can't feel it, and it's just a weird feeling. But other than that, I do everything I need to do with it. It's just dead as dead could be. That's why I didn't know I cut the piss out of it. Let's get to it. It's those wire holders I was talking about. Aggravating. I don't want to just goop this in like the factory does. I'll make it somewhat like it's got some sort of intelligent thought behind it. And what I may do is get some wax and grease remover and just sort of smooth it out some. Like so. A little bit more. Spread it out so it's not all clumped up. Well, if I can spread it out without pulling it right back out of the hole, that would be awesome. There we go. There was, I'll get those over there in a minute. I've got some other pinholes back on the other side. So now what I'm gonna do is get some of this right here. Dip my finger, this is like wax and grease remover. It'll keep it from sticking to my finger so easy. Let's see if we can smear this out. Like I said, that way we can physically press it in to the joint. And it just makes it look better. Smeared it up, we'll just even it out. I think that looks a lot better than just a feed. Alright, this side done. Fall through over here. For some reason, this gap on this side of the inner quarter is a lot wider than the gap on the capital side over there. So expensive, and you just about have to use the whole tube every time you open one, which is a little bit aggravating, I gotta tell you. Too worried about it being perfect. We won't see any of this ever, hopefully ever again. Under here. And you should have seen the way that the factory done this. I mean, they gob this stuff in here. See, I got a hole right here. Needs to be filled. Like I said, if you don't use it, you lose it. This is where I seam sealed it from the inside, but I want to get the outside too. This is where I welded the toe board in. So I want to seam seal that from the outside as well, just to ensure we have a nice, quiet, dry ride. All right. I've got the seam seal. I missed it. Just like so. another spot right here. We'll go ahead and get this as well. Now I do still have work that's got to be done in here. If you remember a couple of videos ago, I talked about how I did the passenger side front seat bolt holes. Well, I gotta do that. Matter of fact, I missed it with the camera, if you remember correctly. Right there, let me see if I can get it this time. That, not so much right here or right here, but right there. That big gaping hole is what's got to be fixed next go around. This stuff is, I think I mentioned last video, it's the best stuff in the freaking world. For doing this kind of stuff anyway. Super thick. What I've done is I've thinned it down just a little bit with some naphtha. You're supposed to use mineral spirits, but naphtha works too. This is petroleum based. So, you know, I mentioned earlier in the video, I want to go over this with the color of the car, make it a textured, but you know, the same color as the car. And this is petroleum based, so you can't do that. So you have to go over this with something you can paint over that also can be painted over something that's petroleum based. So that's why we will be using undercoating to go over the top of this to give us our texture that we're after and our coating that we can paint over. So that's how we'll do that. All right, guys, I believe that's gonna do it. There's your look at the first coat. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just let this set the rest of the day and over the night, and then tomorrow I'll come in with my undercoating and put the texture coat on it. That'll give it the look that I'm after, and then we'll untape it, and when it comes time to paint inside the trunk, we'll be ready to go. So thanks for showing up, thanks for hanging out and watching. Got that crap all over me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified every time I release new content. Hit the like button, hit the share button, leave me a comment, and till next time, y'all go do some work.